Hey, how's it going? I hope you guys enjoyed the TMB series. We had such a great time on that trip. I enjoyed the filming and the editing. It was really fun. And we're glad to have those videos. We had a great time. I wanted to go over all the stuff that we took. Maybe that'll be helpful to you guys. I'm gonna go deep and really try to remember everything that we took. And also I'll touch on stuff that we didn't take that I wish we'd taken. So first of all, let's start with the backpacks. I brought an EXO. It's an Osprey Exos 58 liter. I think my pack was around 25 pounds, which was fine for me. The girls' packs were more like 15. Which was fine for them too. None of us ever had really any pain or problems with the packs. These are really nice. Although I think 58 was probably a little bit more than I needed. But these are really nice packs. They have a thing for the sticks, which I used a lot. There's water pockets or water bottle pockets, an outside pocket. There's a brain where I kept all my drone stuff and camera gear. And then there's just a giant opening for all your stuff that you can stuff in there. And I'll go through that in just a sec. But the Osprey gear is really nice. Jen's, what is this called? Asia. It's an Asia 48. Again, it might have been just a little bit bigger than needed, but great packs. And these Ospreys have this cool feature, which is it's like a little trampoline on your back that keeps the pack off it. So you have airflow through there so your back doesn't like drip with sweat. And that's a really nice feature. The waist belts on all of these are just amazing. There's no pressure on your shoulders at all. It's all taken by your hips, which is how it should be. And this is a really nice feature. Hers is the same as mine. It's got a brain, a few pockets, and just a huge opening for all your junk. In my opinion, this was the best choice. This was Melena's. We got it last minute. It's a Cirrus 24, and this was plenty. I think it would have been plenty for me, although I did have the camera gear, so maybe not. But for Melena, this fit everything she needed, all her clothes, everything she needed fit in here. And it's really cool. It's got some nice compartments. It's kind of better than those that we had. It may be not as ultralight as those. I'm not really sure, but it does have the screen back here. So if you're looking, I'd really recommend checking this out. I think it would be plenty. Unless you're bringing, you know, a huge load. It's got a little pocket down here for your rain cover. I think it came with a rain cover. Anyway, I'd really recommend checking this one out. I had wished that I had this on the trip. It's just, it's simple. There's no brain flopping around. And we all really liked this backpack. So check that out. Cirrus 24 liter Osprey. Okay, so the first tip I can give you is take your backpack on the plane. Don't check it. We had this bad feeling, so we took all our backpacks, we just wore them. If you measure this, it's a little taller than what you're allowed. Nobody questioned us at all. We just got on, put it in the overheads, and it was fine. So don't stress about that too much. If it's a few inches over, don't worry about it. Nobody's gonna check, nobody's gonna hassle you about it. I was kind of worried about that and shouldn't have been. You can't take sticks, you can't carry those on, so put those in a check bag along with like any extra stuff. Really, the sticks were all we had in there, and some medical tape and some other little things. But everything we knew we were gonna need on the hike was in these bags and came with us on the plane. And thank God, because they lost them and we would have been in big trouble because it didn't show up for 3 days till 3 days later, and we had to go. So definitely don't check your backpack. The sticks, we just bought these when we got there, cheap, no big deal. Honestly, if I was doing it again, I wouldn't even bring sticks. I'd just buy them when I got there. Okay, what I wore every day. These are some Columbia pants. I'll put the details on the screen and in the description, but they have the zipper thing where the legs come off and you can make them shorts. These were great. They're really lightweight. They stay clean. They're sort of wicking. They're not hot. But they're tough enough that you can sit on the ground and not mess them up and all that sort of thing. So highly recommend these. Although the shorts part, I don't recommend you ever going with shorts unless you're hardcore about sunscreen. I went shorts one day and we had some snow sections and the back of my calves and like the bottom of my thighs, just the reflection of the sun came off the snow and just fried me to a crisp. So that wasn't good. The rest of the time I just wore pants, and I'd recommend that. It's just the sun and, going through little bits of brush and stuff like that. I just think it was better. So that was key. The girls had similar pants. These are Columbia as well. And also with the convertible sort of legs that zip off. Again, I'll put the details of all this stuff in the on the screen or in the description. I just wore, you want everything to be synthetic. Don't bring cotton. It'll just get disgusting and sweaty. So this is like just a normal exercise shirt from, I don't know where, Target or somewhere. And it's fully synthetic and it's very wicking. It's very lightweight. They dry super quick. So if you rinse it out and hang it up by the next morning, it should be dry. And so I wore one of these every day. I have some nice like ExOfficio, I think it's called, underwear, and they're good, but I like these cheap, I think these are BCG. You can get these anywhere too. For the dudes, something that's kind of tight and keeps things where it's supposed to be is good. And these are that. They're like stretchy. I don't know what they're made of, totally synthetic. But again, they're wicking, they dry super quick. So if you need to do a rinse out, they'll be dry. And these are great. I liked them better than the sort of loose fitting ExOfficios. Highly recommend these as well. For socks, spent some money on these Injinji socks with the toes. I think Jen had one blister, but we all had these socks and they're great because your toes are protected from rubbing against each other. And these are like merino wool. So they dry really quick, surprisingly quick. And these are great. These are great socks, worth the money. So we wore these every day. So as far as other clothing that I brought, basically, I brought, let's see, another pair of underwear, another pair of socks, and another hiking shirt. And that's it. Nothing else as far as that goes. I did have some sleep clothes, just a cotton t-shirt that's comfortable, and some shorts, and that's it for that. I did have one other a t-shirt just like this. It's Bombas, like Pima wool shirt, just for at night. I wish I had brought another pair of pants for sort of in the evenings. I never got my pants filthy, but it was the only pair I had, so they did start to get a little funky. And it would have been nice to be able to change into something absolutely clean and fresh for dinner and, hanging out at the Refugio or whatever. So I wish I had done that. So here's what I would recommend. One pair of hiking pants, convertible pants, if you think you'll use the shorts. 2 pairs of hiking socks, 2 pairs of hiking underwear, 2 hiking shirts, all synthetic, and that's it for the hiking. You don't need more than that, and you're not going to use more than that. Don't overthink it, don't overpack, don't worry about it. Be a little stinky, it's going to be fine. You can rinse your stuff out. I definitely recommend taking a break at a hotel one time if you can, and there's usually ways to get your clothes washed there. We stopped halfway at Courmayeur, and that was perfect. We got everything washed, and we were good to go. Just something comfortable for sleeping. And then the thing I didn't bring was an extra pair of pants, just to hang out in the refugios in. Oh, I also had this light long sleeve hoodie, and I'll link to that as well. I can't find it right now for some reason, but it was white, so it reflected the sun really well. I think it had those little thumb things, so it covered your sort of your wrist. And I wore that a lot. It was great for the sun, and the sun is a thing. Future ends jumping in here because I forgot something very important. I used that light hoodie as a mid layer. The girls had some long sleeve shirts that as mid layers too, just a little warmth. But we also all had ultralight puffies. We got these from Uniqlo. We have had, I don't know how many of these over the years. They stuff into a tiny little stuff sack. They're really easy to pack, and they are so warm. So I would definitely bring some sort of puffy. Something that packs way down is great. These are very lightweight, they pack to nothing, and super, super warm if needed. So that was it for clothing. I did bring a pair of hiking gloves that I absolutely never used, but the girls did use theirs. It did get cold at the top of some of these mountains, like crossing from Switzerland into France. It was freezing up there, and so maybe I did use these for that. But it's good to have just a pair of light, like these are running gloves. Anything like that will work. Okay, I've gotten completely out of order here, but also a hat is nice to have. This one has a good brim. What is this? ExOfficio, I'll link to this. This is great. It's got wire in it, so you can make it different shapes. And it looks absolutely stupid, full okey-finokey, but it's great for the sun, and it was great for dipping in the cold water when you're super hot and putting it on. Oh, that was nice. So bring a hat. This is something I really recommend. It's by Matador. I just crumple them up like this, but it does come with a comes with a little bag attached to it. And where is it? So this little tiny bag, it pretty much fits in there, and it folds down to nothing. I don't have the patience for that, so I just sort of roll it up. But it's just like a picnic blanket that has no weight to it, and we use this a lot. If you're just out on the trail, pull this out, throw it out. 3 people fit on it fine, and this is just a really nice thing to have. We use this all the time. We always take it when we're backpacking or going on the parkway or whatever. So that's a great thing to have. You can get these little cheap bags on Amazon, and they come in different sizes. I definitely recommend that just for like easily organizing your stuff. Like at night, I'd pull out the blue bag to get my sleep stuff out, and that was nice to have. You're definitely going to want to have a sleeping bag liner. These are really nice. If they still make these, I'll link them in the description. These are called Vumos. And anyway, it's just basically a sheet, but it's got a little fold in it you can put a pillow in there so that you're not against any of the refugios' bedding or their pillow, just as a protective measure. The refugios, honestly, they were clean, but other people are going through there, and so this is just a nice thing to have. And it also makes you feel kind of like, okay, I'm home for the night. This is my stuff that I'm gonna be sleeping in. For toiletries, I had this Sea to Summit little bag. This is great. It's super light and it's plenty of room. I just had a travel toothpaste, travel toothbrush, travel toothpaste, a little tiny deodorant, some wet wipes. Definitely bring some of those. Those are handy to have. And we carried some of these in an easier place to get to on our packs too. Some earplugs, definitely bring these. These are key. We had some serious snore nights, and these worked really well for me. The girls had some trouble with them, but definitely bring plenty of earplugs. You'll need them. Unless you're staying at hotels the whole time. And then bring a shower, like a camp towel. This is a Sea to Summit Airlight towel. It's great. It's super small, and in the morning you just wring it out, let it air out for a couple minutes, and it's dry. This is really good. The girls had these larger ones, and again, I'll link all this. These are Matador, and they're a little bit bigger and a little bit better, honestly. This is for hardcore ultralight sort of backpacking situation. It weighs nothing and it's tiny, and it works. It works fine, but it doesn't work as good as these. These are just a little bigger, and you can dry off faster, and I really like these. If I was doing it again, I'd bring one of these too. But either were fine, but you need a towel. Shoes, Ultra, Lone Peak. I don't know what number these are, but these shoes are amazing. We've gotten these for I don't know how many years. They're great. They're super light. They're nice and wide for people with wide feet like me. They have good treads on them. They hold together pretty good. The only problem is I've always had trouble with these peeling back, but you can get some shoe glue or something and fix them pretty easily. The girls had these too. These are great. You don't need anything more than this. You don't need hiking boots. You don't need, I mean, if you're worried about ankle support, if you have trouble with that, then yes, you'd want a hiking boot to help you with that. But for us, these are so light, and they were great. They also, you can walk through a stream, and within 15 minutes, they're dry again. These are just great shoes. I don't know what to say. Okay, other stuff that I kept that was within easy reach in the backpack is a rain cover for the backpack. Didn't really need this too much, a couple times, but you should have one for sure. Okay, after hiking shoes, you're definitely going to want to get out of your hiking shoes when you get to the Refugio or wherever you're going. These, I've always used these for motorcycle trips. They're like, I think they're for swimming. They're called V4, I don't know, I'll link to them. I think they're like swim shoes, but they fold up to absolutely nothing. They weigh nothing, and no one is going to notice that you have these on, like at the Refugio. So they're totally passable. It's not like you're walking tons. So these were good. I do wish I could find some very collapsible shoes that just looked like sneakers, because you know, these are flimsy, and so like when we stayed in Courmayeur for a couple days, I just wore my hiking shoes around because these were not good for that. But for the night, for Refugio for a night, these are fine, and they really do just pack to nothing. Rain gear. Okay, so the girls hated these because they're so ugly, but they fold to nothing. These are just frog togs, smocks, ponchos, and they're lightweight. They fold to nothing. They keep you and your backpack dry, even though you look like a hunchback from the Okefenokee Swamp. But I don't know. If I was doing it again, I would just take this. The girls would probably want real rain gear, like a jacket and pants. Honestly, for me, this is just easier. You throw it on, covers everything, and you're good to go. The only thing with these is they do snap together, but if the wind's blowing, they do get a little flappy, and that can be a hassle. But we didn't need them much, and honestly, I really like these. They're ugly as hell, but they did the job. But again, not very stylish. Okay, one of my favorite pieces of gear is the Buff. It's just a thing of merino wool, and again, I'll link to it. But like, you can sort of twist it, and it becomes a hat. I'm not doing it in a very skilled fashion right now, but it's a hat, it's a sweat wiper, it's a glasses clearer, it's a neck cover, it's a headband, it's a Motley Crue situation. It's just very versatile, and I mean, great. If I wasn't wearing it on my head, which I usually was, I could wear it like this, and it's just great for like wiping the sweat off. And if you have camera gear, lenses and stuff like that, this is something I would just bring. If you've never had one, you're gonna love it. This is a great thing to have. Medical kit, you can get these cheap on Amazon. Might as well bring one. We never really needed it, but this is a good thing to have around. I brought this little baggie with some key ingredients, pad of paper and a pen. Bring a pad of paper and a pen. I'm telling you, it's gonna come in handy sometime. Like if you need directions somewhere, you need to write it down or whatever. I guess you can use your phone too, but. A little thing of toilet paper, never needed this. There's so many places to stop on the way. That was never a thing. And a deck of cards. And I brought a couple of these. If you wear glasses, these Opti Plus wipes are awesome. They put some kind of coating on your glasses and keep the fog off. They're really good. I brought a little knife. I don't know how this got through customs, but it did. Just good for, you know, cutting salami out on the trail or stuff like that. If you don't want to risk taking it through the airport, just buy something when you get there. This is a little Gerber knife. Very light. And okay, so then we had various medical gear or blister stuff, whatever. This stuff is great. I forget what it's called. Ludgid tape or something like that. I forget. Leuco. I'll link it. Anyway, it's just like some tape, surgical tape sort of stuff. But if you put this on a blister, it's gonna make you feel a lot better. And it's super thin, so you don't feel it on your foot. Bring a roll of this for sure. We also got a bunch of these Compede things. We got these over there. And if I can figure out how to open it. So these, again, they're just little pads, and they come in different sizes. And these were great too. Bring a couple of those. Advil, have that on hand because you're probably going to need it, and we definitely did. Also, you can't get this in the States, but when you get there, get some of this. It's called Voltaren. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's sort of topical Advil, and this stuff works. If you rub this on a sore muscle, it really, really helps. Highly recommend picking some of this stuff up in a pharmacy when you get there. This stuff is good. Knee braces. All right. I don't care if you've never had a problem with your knees in your life. Go out and spend all your money on the best knee braces you can find. 2 of them. We left with some of these, which are just sort of compression. And you know, those are helpful a little bit. But what you need is something like this, or even better than this. And it's sort of the same thing, but if you can see, it's got this little sort of pad that sticks out here. And when it's on, that goes right below your kneecap, sort of in that spot between your kneecap and your shin. You know, there's that little area. And I don't know why, but applying pressure to that spot really, really helps. This knee brace saved my life. I mean, I still had some knee pain on a couple of the downhills. And if you don't, congratulations, I'm so jealous. Jen had the same thing happen and she got one of these as well. This worked really well. I'll find some similar stuff and link to it on Amazon for you. But look, even if you've never had a knee problem in your life, bring the braces, because when you need it right then, and you don't want to wait till you have to travel 4 hours down a mountain to get to a pharmacy. So spend some money on that and you will thank me, most likely. Sticks, I don't really love using sticks when we hike around here, but I kind of love them more after the TMB. These were necessary. I mean, I don't know how people do it without them. I'm sure it's fine, but I don't know. Just having the extra stability, especially going across water crossings or snow or anything like that, these were great to have. You don't have to go crazy on these. Don't spend a lot of money. I mean, these are like 20 bucks or something. And you don't have to get carbon fiber. You don't have to, just get the cheapest ones you can find that seem decent. These worked great. And they were light enough. It's a hassle sometimes to deal with them when you don't want to use them. My backpack did have that nice little spot you could put them in. And so that was good. But I would definitely recommend bringing some of these. I didn't show, I mean, they're not there anymore, but in my bathroom kit, buy a bunch of these little cocaine baggies, because for supplements or whatever drugs you have to take, I had to bring some statin and stuff like that. Pre-doing them in something like this is just better. So I just did these for every day. And so I didn't have a bunch of bottles. I didn't have a bunch of stuff I had to sort out. Just pull it out for the day, take what you need to take, and get on with it. And hopefully the feds don't monitor your Amazon account to see what kind of drug paraphernalia you've been buying. On my pack, I also had, you can get these at REI. I had this, which I carried basically like chapstick or, you know, stuff like that in. And a lot of backpacks come with these already, but I bought this one, just a little hip belt pocket thing. And in here I kept chapstick, which you should have for sure. Some of that Voltron, just in a smaller bottle. And some sunscreen, bring some good sunscreen. And I had some bug stuff, which we never actually needed. And what we used is this Cardin. I don't know. This is what I use for backpacking. I use it because it's a cream. You can put it in a tiny bottle. You don't need a big spray thing. And it works. But we never had an issue with insects on the TMB at all. And also here's some leftover Vicks nose spray from our disgusting nasal problems. Okay, another thing I would recommend that you have is some sort of device like this. This is a Garmin InReach. I love this thing. You can track your trip on it. You can give family members a link and it'll show them where you are. And if you ever need it, it has an SOS button, which through the satellites will contact help for you. And you can sort of communicate with them with this, and it also has an app. So if you need to text through this, so what happens is you press the SOS button, they will text you back through this and say, what kind of help do you need? We're on the way, whatever. It tells them where you are. You don't have to do any of that. It knows where you are. And then you can message them back through this on your phone or using these keys, which is a little bit of a hassle on this. I don't know about the other places, the other products. This is a Garmin InReach, like I said, mini. There's also one made by Spot. There's a couple other companies. Garmin InReach is tried and true. They're a massive company, and this is a really good product. It's expensive. Spend the money. It'll make you feel better. There are times when you're going to be remote and there's not going to be anyone else around. Not many, because there's lots of people on the trail, but there were times when, like on the snow day, we were on the side of that mountain. There was nobody around, and you know, you never know. I can also recommend that you buy the insurance on their website. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. I'm just saying it's probably a good idea. They have helicopter insurance. So if you need to get airlifted, they pay, I think it's $30,000 toward whatever it is. Now in Europe, as far as I know, they don't really charge you for rescues, but just to be safe, I think it was $30 a year. I bought it for all of us just in case. And, you know, didn't need it, of course, but just in case, not a bad thing to have. I'll link to that stuff in the description. As far as apps, I used Gaia GPS, which I love. I just put all of the routes right in there as GPX files, and it was great. Then I went through, and maybe you want to do this too on the web app version of Gaia. I went through and marked like water points, refugios along the trail, cafes along the trail. And it was just nice to have that in big icons as we walked. So I could say, oh, there's a bathroom in whatever, a mile. So I'd recommend doing that if you have the chance. It was nice to have all that stuff in there. As far as organizational stuff too, I'm a big fan of notes. I'm sure Android has the same thing. I put each of our locations, the phone number, a link to the sort of location in Gaia, all the information for every day I put in my notes, and I could just flip through there. It said, okay, this is how many miles you're going today. This is the elevation. So I knew for every day what we were into, and it just kept everything really organized. I never had to call a refugio, but you know, if you're running late or whatever, it's good to just have all that information at your fingertips. Cell service is, you know, scattered throughout the route. Sometimes you'll have it, sometimes you won't. But it was nice to have all that stuff in one spot where I could get to it really easily and see what we were doing for the day. I won't get into this too much, but a lot of people asked about the filming. Oh. Also carried a headlamp, never needed it. Except actually, I think we used it maybe like at night going to the bathroom or something. We never hiked in the dark, I don't think, but good thing to have, for sure. For filming, you know what, before filming, let's go to batteries and that sort of thing. Okay, I kept all this stuff in my backpack as well. So I had a sort of a special case because I was filming the whole time, and I had drone batteries and camera batteries to deal with, in addition to our phones. You may not need to go so overkill, but this is fairly small. It's got a European plug. This worked in all the countries, including Switzerland. And it's got a bunch of USB ports, USB-C port, and some plugs. So charging at the refugios is a thing. It's like, you know, everybody wants to charge their phone. There's usually 1 or 2 outlets that you can get to, And so for us, I could plug this into one outlet and charge absolutely everything with these ports. Now you may not need this. It might be too much. So maybe for you, something like this is better. You know, it's got the European style plug, but this doesn't have any USB ports. It's just a regular plug. So I don't know. For me, this was a lifesaver. And there were a couple of times when I didn't need all the ports and other people who were there could plug into our stuff too. It just sort of added ports to that one outlet. So I needed this. So this was great. And I think this would have been great even without the camera gear. As far as batteries, I brought one of these. I think this is a 20,000 watt. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they measure these, but this is a 20,000. I don't know what that means. And this is great because it's got multiple ports on it. They don't make this anymore, but I'm sure you can find something similar, and I'll try to link to something like it in the description. But I brought this so that we could, if we ever ran out of juice on the trail, we had this. And also, if you wanted to have your phone nearby while you're sleeping, I would use this to just charge overnight. And this, I don't think I ever needed to charge this the entire trip. These are 10,000, I don't know what it is, milliamp? I don't know. Anyway, these are 10,000, so they're half as powerful. They've got two ports, regular USB and a USB-C. These are like so light. This one is not very light. These are super light. I gave each of the girls one of these, so if their phones were dying during the day, they could charge them. We didn't need to charge these at all on the entire trip either. They had plenty of juice for what we needed. Honestly, I probably didn't even need this, but it was good to have these. Then for the filming, these are the two battery packs that I had to charge. This is for the drone. These are the GoPro batteries. I brought a little card case to carry those. And all I had for filming was this GoPro 9. It's like an old GoPro. I have a GoPro 10. I don't know why I brought this one instead, but I did. And it's just on this simple little clip that I think came with the GoPro. I'm not sure. But I would clip this on my backpack, or I would hold it like this, and that was it. I didn't bring a selfie stick. I didn't bring any fancy gear, tripods, anything. That was it. I just wanted it to be as simple as possible because I was there to hike, and secondary, I was there to film. I really like the filming. It's fun, but as soon as it gets in the way of what you're there to actually do, then it's not fun. So I just kept it simple. If I were doing it again, I would probably take a different camera. I've got a Insta360 Go, I think. And that camera is pretty incredible in that it has a little tiny, I'm using it to film this, so I can't show you, but it's got a little tiny camera that you can use a magnet, and it could have stuck right to my lapel or my backpack strap. And then it's got a camera body, so you can use it as a regular action camera, or you can use the little tiny camera. I also would have turned up the stabilization a little bit had I known. This is the first hiking video I've ever done, and I wasn't happy with the, you can really see me stepping, which isn't great. It's not a big deal, but it's something I would have fixed if I could have. And then as far as the drone, this is a Mini 2. I just kept this in a bag like this in the brain, and I never needed to charge this. It holds charge forever. And this, I would charge these batteries, and I'd never used more than one a day, one battery. So I could have probably gotten away with not bringing this and just charging this on its own each night. Oh, I'm looking through this list of stuff. So sunglasses. You should probably have sunglasses. I don't wear them because it's just another thing to deal with, and I need prescription sunglasses. So I don't wear sunglasses anymore ever, and I was fine. But in the snow and stuff like that, and in the exposed parts of the trail, sunglasses would have been nice, but you don't really need them. Camelback versus water bottle. In my personal opinion, Camelbacks are disgusting. The water just always tastes gross. They're hard to keep clean. They're just a pain in the ass. We just bring smart water bottles just from the grocery store. They have a little sport cap. I can't find one right now. We usually have like 10,000 of them. I can't find one, but this is the same thing. It's just got a normal sort of sports bottle cap on it. And these are great. The smart bottles are, for some reason, they're the lightest of the bottles. They're real thin. And that's what we used. And actually, we just bought water along the way with the same sort of caps and used those. I don't see any reason to bring in like a Nalgene or a water bottle like this. Just use some cheap plastic water that you bought at the store. As far as snacks, we always had some bars. We always had some, nuts. A lot of times we'd buy lunch at the Refugio, so we'd have that. Leftover pizza from the night before. 2 liters of water for us were enough per day, and I don't even think we needed that much. We ran out of water one day on the way into Italy. I don't know how that happened, but it was fine. You do not need a water filter. You don't need any of that. Unless you're doing crazy variants, there's water. You can get water along the way without an issue. I don't know why we had trouble that one day. And that's it. I think we were really successful at keeping things simple and light. My wife, her potions in the bathroom, she's got like 8,000 bottles of serums and magical potions and she was just like, she just left it all. You just got to go minimal. You'll have more fun. The less weight and stuff you have to deal with, the more fun you'll have. For sure. And I know for a fact I'm forgetting something, but I'm pretty sure that's what we brought and that's what we needed. Oh, I forgot. Stuff that we needed that we didn't bring. The only thing I can think of is micro spikes. I wish we had them. I mean, they're tiny, they weigh nothing, they're cheap. Just bring them. Even whatever the season you're going, just bring them to have. It's just, I wish we had them. It would have been so easy to bring, and we didn't. So I don't know why we didn't do that. And look, if any of this gear looks good to you, please use the links in the description to buy. We get a little kickback from Amazon. It doesn't cost you any more, but that'll help us out a little bit. So use those if you can. If you have any questions about anything, definitely ask in the comments. We're happy to help. And if there's any other videos you'd like me to do about the TMB, I'm happy to do that. And what's next for the channel? So Jen and I are still heavily talking about retirement. We've made some moves. So I want to do a video talking about that. We also did a work trip to Japan and Thailand, so we might post that. We did a trip on the Goldwing to see the eclipse. I might post that. And then in September, we have a huge trip in the RV. We're going to from Asheville up to Newfoundland, going to explore Newfoundland and come back. So we'll be posting that as well. But I hope you enjoyed this series. The trip was absolutely incredible, once in a lifetime. The only bummer was that my oldest daughter wasn't with us, but what can you do? People are growing up. So anyway, let us know what you thought, and let us know what else you'd like to see on the channel. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Please hit like if you liked this video, click the alert bell for notifications, and please subscribe. See you next time.